In my past life, Jiang Hao, to save his best buddy, ignored my desperate pleas and charged into the fire. He suffered 45% facial burns and was left with a permanent disability in his left hand. But when I offered to break up to let him be with Li Meng, they took to the internet with long, emotional posts, painting me as a heartless woman who abandoned a firefighting hero, leading to millions cyberbullying me. In the second year of my battle with depression, my family, armed with a 500,000 yuan bride price, forced me to marry Jiang Hao. Li Meng didn't show up at our wedding, but she was already waiting in our new home, taking my place in the wedding chamber. I didn't disturb them, I just quietly turned on the gas in the kitchen, then took out a lighter when Jiang Hao rushed over to turn it off. See you in hell, the fire is fair, it treats us all equally within its grasp. I thought I would be free, but after the intense pain, I found myself back in the apartment I rented over 2 years ago. At this moment, Jiang Hao and I were cuddling on the couch watching a movie. His left hand was around my neck, and his right hand held a cigarette, and my mouth, as if not under my control, was rambling on about the scene in the movie. When we get our new place, we should buy a bed this big. Jiang Hao chuckled softly. Sure, whatever you like, we'll get whatever you want. As he spoke, he leaned over to kiss me. I wanted to resist in panic, but then I heard a long-missed phone ring. Jiang Hao had set a special ringtone for Li Meng on his phone, recorded by Li Meng herself. Aren't you going to answer your phone, good son? What sneaky things are you up to now? Forgot your buddy after getting a wife? Huh, if you don't answer this time, you're buying next time we go for skewers. The recording was made while Li Meng was holding Jiang Hao's phone, running and laughing merrily, with Jiang Hao chasing after her. You can hear her exaggerated laughter and her heavy breathing from running. Jiang Hao picked up the phone hurriedly, as if hearing a royal decree. What now, my lady? You sure know how to pick the right time. Ah Hao, save me. Cough, my house is on fire, I might die. Ah Hao, save me. Cough. Li Meng coughed violently while hanging up the phone. Jiang Hao shot up from the couch, his face grim. He paced back and forth anxiously, but no matter how many times he tried, Li Meng wouldn't pick up the phone. Jiang Hao grabbed his coat in one swift motion. Su Qiao, something's happened to Li Meng, we need to go check on her. Why, do we really have to go? Jiang Hao froze for a second, looking at me with utter disappointment. Su Qiao, have you no heart? Li Meng said her house is on fire. This is a matter of life and death, and you're not the least bit concerned. I'm not worried, I'm not her mother, so why should I be? But you, rushing around for another woman, calling your own girlfriend inhuman. What's your deal? Su Qiao, what are you trying to pull now? You know Li Meng and I have been good buddies for years. You need to pick your battles and the right time. Jiang Hao, what if I don't let you go? Jiang Hao gave a cold laugh, turned around, and left. As he was changing his shoes at the entrance, I spoke again. Jiang Hao, I'm giving you one last chance. If you go to Li Meng today, we're breaking up. From now on, you can live your life with Li Meng. Don't come looking for me. Jiang Hao, breaking up, just because my friend needs me. Su Qiao, you've really made me understand the saying brothers before hoes. If I ever get into trouble someday, I don't know if you'd come, but I know for sure Li Meng would. So today, I have to go make sure she's safe. If you want to break up, then let's break up. But you need to remember, the problem in our relationship is with you, not me. My conscience is clear. After saying that, he turned and dashed out of the house, finding both elevators occupied, so he sprinted down the stairs. My apartment is on the 7th floor, and running down is indeed faster than walking. I don't know, I was prepared to go to hell, so how did I end up back on earth? Could it be that even heaven thinks my previous life was like living in hell? I won't make the same mistake again. I took a photo of him tying his shoelaces when Jiang Hao was changing shoes just now, posted directly to Moments. You ran to her wearing the shoes I bought you, turning the past 3 years of my life into a joke. Every single time, as soon as she calls, no matter if we're kissing or hugging, we have to stop immediately. Every time she gives an order, all our plans get cancelled. After 3 years of dating you, I've loved so humbly. I'm supposed to be the official girlfriend, yet I'm always secondary, like a backup plan to fill the void in your heart when she doesn't need you. We were already planning the renovation of our new home, but with one call from her, you left me again, for 3 whole years by your side. All I got was, if you want to break up, then let's break up. I even feel cheap myself. That's enough. All the foolish things I've done for you over the years, I'm taking them all back today. The rent is paid through next month, and I've settled all the utility bills for this quarter. You'll need to learn how to pay them yourself from now on. Don't forget, I know you have no experience renting on your own. Ever since I've known you, you've only wanted to start your own business. Never held a regular job, and probably have little savings. That's why I chose to leave on my own and leave everything in the apartment for you. Besides, this entire place is filled with your presence, and I can't bear it anymore. I just hope we can go our separate ways from now on and never bother each other again. Jiang Hao, I, Su Qiao, sincerely wish you and Li Meng a happy and lasting relationship. If you love her, then love her properly. Stop using the guise of being good buddies to hurt innocent girls. The hardships I've endured, the tears I've shed, and the grievances I've suffered over these 3 years, please don't make another girl go through them again. Jiang Hao, lovely Meng, well, I wish you happiness. It takes about 15 minutes to drive from my place to Li Meng's home. I have to make the most of this time and post it on all my social media platforms, so everyone knows that Jiang Hao and I broke up because of his best friend, Li Meng. Besides the photo I took of him changing his shoes, there are also screenshots of our conversation. For 3 years, Jiang Hao and I have had countless fights over Li Meng. Because of Li Meng, Jiang Hao has stood me up more times than I can count. It seems like every time Jiang Hao and I have a date planned, Li Meng always manages to stir up some kind of trouble. I posted 8 screenshots of Jiang Hao apologizing to me for breaking our plans because of Li Meng on my WeChat moments. Then, I posted another 18 on Weibo. Then I quickly packed a simple suitcase, dragged it downstairs, took another photo, and posted it on my moments. Goodbye. No matter how much I don't want to leave, during those years of cyberbullying in my previous life, I could never understand why, or how it could happen. Later, I realized it was probably because Li Meng knew how to speak, could show weakness, cry, and express emotions. She would literally die to make Jiang Hao happy, so this time, of course, she had to be the one to bring him happiness herself. I hailed a cab straight to the airport and bought a ticket for tonight's flight to Yunnan. Just went through a breakup and I'm heartbroken. A trip to clear my head makes perfect sense, right? The moment I turned on my phone after landing, it was absolutely flooded with calls, a barrage of messages, 99 plus notifications. Jiang Hao's idiot friends were at it again, self-righteously saying, Su Qiao, Jiang Hao needs you right now. How can you leave him at a time like this? There is absolutely nothing romantic between Jiang Hao and Li Meng. All of us brothers can vouch for that. Su Qiao, Jiang Hao is in the emergency room. Come back and take care of him. If you abandon him now, aren't you afraid of what people will say? I'm not afraid. Of course I'm not. Not only am I not afraid, I even feel like laughing. I ignored those people's messages and then saw that my bestie sent me a bunch of voice messages. At first, she was cursing Jiang Hao. Damn. Finally broke up, sis. That piece of trash. Jiang Hao, I told you long ago he's not worth it. And that Li Meng, what a slut. What, does she have no dad or mom? Everything relies on her male bestie. Disgusting. You're out of your mind. You've been paying that scumbag's rent and utilities all these years. You'd be better off getting a dog. And you left him the apartment. No way. He doesn't even deserve a doghouse. You're going to Yunnan. A healing trip. Huh. Text me your hotel when you land. I'll book the next flight out to meet you. Oh my god, girl, instant karma is real. It actually exists. Breaking up with that bastard Jiang Hao was such perfect timing. 1 hour later and you wouldn't have gotten away. Jiang Hao got burned saving Li Meng and was rushed to the hospital. Qin Fengfeng was speaking with such intense emotion, and she didn't stop until she boarded the plane. I listened to the voice messages she sent me, over and over, alone in my hotel room, tears streaming down my face. In my past life, when I was utterly alone and suffering from depression to the point of wanting to die, only she remained the same. She didn't know how to comfort me. And back then, I had completely shut myself off, not allowing anyone to get close, so she would often send me voice messages, sharing her experiences with me as if nothing had happened, treating me like a normal person. When I died in my past life, she was probably still single, having bought a motorhome and embarked on a road trip with a big yellow dog, becoming a travel blogger with millions of followers. She must be very busy, with many friends, lots of ads to take, and many sights to see, yet she still sends me messages and photos, letting me see the paths she's walked and the views she's seen. Qiao Qiao, you should come with me, you'd definitely love it. This is what she says to me most often. Her consistent attitude towards me, her unwavering understanding and support, and our enduring friendship over the years, though as thin as a spider's thread amidst the overwhelming accusations and moral coercion, can still bear the weight of 1,000 pounds. It was the only ray of light that pierced the utter darkness of my world. I am still terrified of crowds, even though those people are no longer accusing or insulting me online, no longer digging up and dissecting every trace of my life since elementary school. But that bone-deep fear and aversion cannot be completely erased. Not even by a rebirth. I checked Qin Fangfang's flight schedule, estimated the time, and went to wait for her downstairs at the hotel. It was past 3 in the morning, and there were only a few people lingering outside the hotel entrance. I was huddled in a corner, standing under a stone pillar. When Qin Fangfang got out of the taxi, she glanced at the few people at the hotel entrance and headed straight toward me. For me, it had been over 2 years since I last saw her, but for her, we had just gone to a newly opened hot pot restaurant for lunch yesterday. Ciao ciao. Qin Fangfang ran over to me and hugged me tightly. Unaccustomed to physical contact, my body tensed up instantly, but realizing it was Fangfang who was hugging me, someone who wouldn't hurt me, I gradually relaxed. Let's go upstairs and talk in the room. Qin Fangfang didn't stop talking the whole way, expressing relief that I had run away in time and cursing Jiang Hao, that scumbag, for his well-deserved karma. You know, this fire was supposed to have 0 casualties. It's all because he rushed in without waiting for the firefighters despite being warned, resulting in severe burns covering a large area. He became the only critically injured person in the entire fire scene who needed emergency rescue. It's really unbelievable. How did he manage that? Could it be that he deliberately set his clothes on fire to be a hero in front of Li Meng, and he still has the nerve to call himself a brother? If this isn't love, then what is? I do recall this. He wasn't that crazy. The jacket he was wearing was a birthday gift from Li Meng last month. It was made primarily of acrylic and nylon, which would melt and stick to the skin when exposed to high temperatures, and it was also highly flammable. Qin Fangfang, damn, she seemed at a loss for words to describe the connection between those two. After a moment of silence, she steered the conversation back to me. Thank God you got out of there. Seriously, otherwise, who knows what kind of doormat you'd have ended up as. Are there any temples in Yunnan? We absolutely have to go burn some incense at dawn to thank the gods for looking out for you. I mean, if you'd been weak just one more time, if you'd swallowed your pride one more time, you'd still be stuck playing nurse at his hospital bedside. He ruined himself for another woman, leaving you to clean up the mess. Damn, just thinking about it makes me want to puke. Qin Fangfang returned to her hotel room, feeling drowsy. So she took a shower and went straight to bed. She slept so soundly and peacefully. It was enviable, but I haven't slept soundly in who knows how long, and I'm not the least bit sleepy right now. I tiptoed to the balcony with my laptop, backing up all the evidence of their once deep love before Li Meng could delete the records and destroy the proof, just as she did in her previous life. While digging through Li Meng's secret Weibo account, I came across messages from her student days and realized that even back then, she enjoyed inserting herself between Jiang Hao and his girlfriend, constantly asserting her presence. Even worse, after the girl finally couldn't take it anymore and broke up with Jiang Hao, Li Meng would pop out, hurling accusations, insults, and spreading rumors to smear the girl's reputation from her self-appointed moral high ground. She rallied their classmates to viciously trash the girl who broke up with Jiang Hao. She cast herself as a righteous, blameless champion of justice, while painting Jiang Hao as an innocent, pitiful victim who was always wronged and abandoned, as if all those girls were utter trash. And in Li Meng's eyes, every single one of Jiang Hao's ex-girlfriends was utterly despicable and deserved to die 1,000 deaths. She expected every single one of their friends, heck, practically everyone they knew, to join her and Jiang Hao in shunning and ostracizing those girls. Anyone who didn't was just as bad as them. No wonder in my past life, she was so adept at crafting those manipulative posts to sick the internet mob on me. It came to her as naturally as breathing. She was the one Jiang Hao risked his life to save, yet she washed her hands of any responsibility. She even rallied a crowd to guilt-trip me, trying to force me into a till death do us part situation with Jiang Hao. Turns out she had already mastered these manipulative tactics back in her school days. She's a real pro. The more I scrolled, the clearer it became. This so-called alt account was actually Li Meng's most authentic main account back in the day. During her school years, she was hot-headed, arrogant, acted like a bit of a punk, and looked down on other girls on a daily basis. Her catchphrases were things like, "I'm basically one of the guys, not a girl at all, I just can't relate to those other girls, and girls don't like me, so I can only hang out with the boys." I created a new persona after starting college, so I switched to a new account to start fresh. This small account is only used to document her beautiful brotherhood with Jiang Hao and some other good friends, too. Discussed those losers from her past. Here, losers specifically refers to Jiang Hao's ex-girlfriends, with captions full of bragging and provocation, almost directly saying, "I'm posting this for you to see, please come and stalk me." Last month, on Jiang Hao's birthday, even though I was there, In all the photos Li Ming posted, either I wasn't included, or I was barely visible in the corner, looking like an unfamiliar stranger. In that photo where she's helping Jiang Hao try on clothes, she looks just like a wife straightening her husband's attire before he heads out. The two of them are standing close, faces beaming with smiles as they gaze deeply into each other's eyes. Haha, Fang Fang is absolutely right. If this doesn't count as love, then what does? This account has absolutely everything. I even stumbled upon Li Ming's QQ number from her student days, something I never knew in my past life. Judging by the content she left and the way people in the comments fawn over her, this QQ number of hers seems to be something special. Not something just anyone can add. The comment section is full of people begging for a spot on her friends list. It seems like being on Li Ming's contact list is considered a great honor and a status symbol. I followed the QQ link, and her profile space requires answering a question to gain access. The question is, who is lousy? I saw the nicknames her friends used when interacting with her on Weibo, so I entered Mengyi and got in. The last comment on the space message board was left 5 years ago. From the comments, it seemed as if Li Ming had founded some kind of cult, with her classmates acting like devoted followers, worshipping her and following her lead. Only after I opened her photo albums and videos did I realize that the so-called worship from those people stemmed from fear. They desperately chase her in hopes of being accepted by her. Also because they were terrified by the way she treated those she didn't like, whom she called scum. She brazenly filmed herself bullying classmates during her school days and proudly posted the footage in her space. She lost herself in the chorus of her underlings calling her Mingya. As a girl, she even secretly took photos of her classmates changing clothes in the girls' dormitory and uploaded them directly to her space. She led a group of male classmates in pointing and commenting on a few developing girls, openly calling them big cows and small cows. In the comments section of her post, someone specifically asked to see the class beauty. Without a second thought, Li Ming actually took a photo of the class beauty changing clothes and posted it right there in the comments. I clicked on that guy's profile picture, and the more I looked, the more familiar he seemed. It was none other than Jiang Hao from our school days. I felt so disgusted I could vomit. It finally dawned on me why there was always that smug, intimate bond between Jiang Hao and Li Ming. They couldn't help but flaunt it, even in front of his own girlfriend. Their bond, forged like comrades in arms, that irreplaceable intimacy, it was built layer upon layer with the blood, tears, and humiliation of countless girls. When Qin Fangfang woke up, I was still busy at the computer, having completely failed to notice the sun rising and the sky growing bright. Qiao Qiao, what are you doing? Don't tell me you've been up all night. There's even dew in your hair. Qin Fangfang poured a cup of hot water and handed it to me, then took a towel and began to dry my hair. Seeing what was on my computer screen, she paused what she was doing, sat down beside me, and looked at me with utter exasperation. Why are you still bothering with those two? Why are you still looking at their updates? You and Jiang Hao are broken up. Even if he dropped dead, it wouldn't be your business. Su Qiao, not every girl is as lucky as you to have divine protection that lets you change course before jumping into a fire pit. If you dare go back to Jiang Hao, not even God can save you. No, I have no intention of getting back together with Jiang Hao. I just think, since he loves Li Ming so much and would throw caution to the wind for her, they absolutely must end up together. This heart-wrenching love story needs to be known by everyone. Su Qiao, are you out of your mind? Why do you care about them? Aren't you just making trouble for yourself? Are you a saint? How many times have you been bullied and suffered because of them? How can you even have the mood to appreciate their love? How did your brain even work? Even Mary isn't as saintly as you. Qin Fangfang's words almost awakened the conscience that had been crushed by that brutal online violence. Of course I'm not a saint. There are no saints in hell, only demons. After hitting send, I closed my laptop. Let's go have breakfast. You need to go burn incense early, don't you, Qin Fangfang? I need to burn a big stick of incense and pray to the gods for your wandering mind. Once we're done, we'll head back. No, why should I go back? You didn't even bring any luggage, no change of clothes, just came with a small bag. What are you going to do if you don't go back? Didn't you bring a big suitcase? I can just wear yours. Are you despising me? No, I'm not despising you. If you like them, you can have them all. Humph, that's more like it. Qin Fangfang was adamant about dragging me out to relax and have fun. In truth, she didn't want me going back to Jiang Hao's side at this time. She knew that if I went back, a whole bunch of people would put on a pitiful act for Jiang Hao right in front of me, using every trick in the book to pressure me into staying by his side to take care of him. All they care about is that Jiang Hao needs someone to look after him now, that he's a hero. that he shouldn't be abandoned, but they don't care. They don't give a damn about why I, Su Qiao, should be responsible for him or why I should suffer this humiliation by taking on a man who risked his life for another woman. If Jiang Hao had truly loved me wholeheartedly in these 3 years, without repeatedly prioritizing Li Meng's needs over mine, if it had been me trapped in the fire, if it had been me he risked his life to save, forget about burns or disfigurement, even if he were truly burned to the point of being unable to take care of himself, I, Su Qiao, would be willing to take care of him for the rest of my life. May lightning strike me down if I have the slightest bit of insincerity, but as he said, he believes Li Meng would give everything for him, yet he doesn't trust me, so, if Li Meng were in that fire, he'd rush in without a second thought, he'd risk his own life for her, but if it were me in there, at best, he'd stand in the crowd and tell me not to panic. I'd be lucky if he even remembered to call the fire department. Hell, Li Meng could probably just call him, and he'd leave me right then and there. Later, he'd have the nerve to act like I was being unreasonable. The firefighters were already there. What good would I do? You're fine, aren't you? Li Meng needed me. It's almost funny, just thinking about it casually. His exact expression and tone of voice flash into my mind. I really don't get it. Why do they have to ruin other girls' lives? Why can't they just be together with Li Meng, these two creeps? Since I couldn't go back to perform in person, I found a few popular bloggers online, seeing their posts about the anonymous heroes in the fire, each with tens of thousands of likes and thousands of comments. I sent the evidence of Jiang Hao and Li Meng's love directly to their business cooperation email. Humans are emotional beings, instinctively yearning and longing for beautiful love, especially the passionate true love that has been tested by life and death, unwavering. It has to be you. Who wouldn't find it stirring? All I sent them were screenshots, all ironclad evidence, not a single word was embellished. The content only includes the conversations, photos, and videos between those two. Absolutely no third party involved. Anyone who sees it would believe they are a couple who have been in love for over a decade. From school uniforms to wedding gowns, a heroic figure who rushes to you without a thought for personal safety in the midst of flames. These two are practically overflowing with romance. If Jiang Hao hadn't been dating one girlfriend after another during this time and had always referred to Li Meng as a brother, their experiences and emotions would be enough to make a romantic movie. Those bloggers are really good at seizing hot topics. After receiving the email, they directly asked me to name my price. You've misunderstood. These are not for sale. They are free gifts. I am a friend of theirs, deeply moved by the fearless spirit of the firefighting hero who risked his life for his lover. I hope the whole world can see their beautiful love that transcends life and death. Please make sure to promote this heavily. On the wedding day, everyone across the nation should join in the virtual feast. Jiang Hao and Li Meng's love story shot to national hot search the afternoon after the fire, not just local hot search. By then, Jiang Hao might not even have been moved out of the ICU yet. In the era of social media, information spreads at an astonishing speed. Given the high popularity of the firefighting hero, everyone who was there and captured photos or videos uploaded them to their accounts. Many people around Jiang Hao and Li Meng were eager to grab the spotlight, proud to know the great hero, and willing to accept interviews from various media outlets, appearing on camera to speak. I really didn't expect this level of buzz. Qin Fengfeng almost smashed her phone in anger when she saw the trending topics back at the hotel at night. Shameless, utterly shameless. These two bastards have no limits. Why doesn't heaven strike them down with lightning? Their childhood sweethearts, made for each other. They've known each other for over a decade, from school uniforms to wedding gowns. What does that make you? What about the other women before you? Are they just toys for their romantic games? Crazy. These two are really crazy. How can they bully people like this? They have so many classmates and friends. Why hasn't anyone stepped forward to expose the truth? Are they all blind? I'm so furious. I'm so furious. Seeing those two scoundrels being praised and celebrated by the whole nation on the trending list is more painful than gouging out my eyes. Feng, calm down. Have some tea to cool off. It's not worth getting yourself sick over them. Su Qiao, are you stupid? Why aren't you angry? I've already broken up with Jiang Hao, so whatever he does is no longer my concern. Why would I be upset about it? But those people online are just blindly shipping, making it seem like you were the third wheel for the past 3 years. I just can't let this go. Third wheel. The news about Jiang Hao and Li Meng is getting way too much attention. The whole country is obsessed. If people knew Li Meng was just the guy who broke up all of Jiang Hao's relationships, they might all collectively lose it. I asked the Big V who had contacted me before, what's going on? How did this become a nationwide trending topic? My friend is just an ordinary person and can't handle this, they quickly replied. This has nothing to do with me, this isn't something my dozen or so accounts could pull off. To be honest, it's clear that capital is involved. Why? It's simple, a diversion of focus. Instead of letting the onlookers question the fire safety facilities, the property management's responsibility, or why the gas company had a pipeline leak that caused an explosion, it's better to give them a pair of true love CPs to obsess over. Tell your friend to look on the bright side. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. In the age of social media, how many people are desperate to go viral? They could easily gain millions of followers overnight, and with occasional product endorsements, they'll be set for life. Nobody's perfect. Tell them to delete any scandalous content and apologize to anyone they've wronged. The power of netizens is immeasurable. Within 3 days, their entire family lineage could be dug up. Alright, thanks for the reminder. I checked Li Meng's small account again, and just like in my previous life, it has already been deactivated. What a shame, we were just a step too late. Qin Fengfeng tirelessly exposed the ugly truth about those two online, speaking up for Jiang Hao's ex-girlfriend, though her main motivation was to stand up for me, but she didn't want to drag me into it or see me get attacked, so she only referred to me as a friend of mine. As a result, she was swarmed and cyberbullied by the rabid shippers of that couple, who said, as everyone knows, any unnamed, faceless friend is to be treated as the person themselves. Those two are so deeply in love, their daily life is pure sweetness, there's absolutely no room for anyone else to come between them. You're just bitter and jealous, lashing out because you can't have what they have. No one knows better than I do how much Qin Fengfeng looks down on Jiang Hao. To suggest she's pining for him or is jealous of their relationship is, to Qin Fengfeng, the ultimate insult in the world. Qin Fengfeng has never thought any man I've been with was good enough for me. She used to get physically sick watching those news stories about best friends stealing each other's boyfriends. She said, a real best friend believes no man on earth is good enough for her girl. Steal a man, what a load of crap. These news stories are just trash cooked up by malicious people to sow discord among real best friends. She's clutching her phone, arguing with unaware netizens, and has 2 soybean-sized boils on her chin. Even a light touch makes her yelp in pain, watching her with furrowed brows. Phone plugged in and full of fight, I suddenly felt a pang in my nose, turned away, and tears streamed down uncontrollably. In my previous life, when I was cyberbullied to the point of hiding in my room, afraid to see people or even open my phone, was she also like this now, fighting alone for me, taking on 1,000 adversaries? Chow chow, what are you crying for? She put down her phone, came over, and hugged me, gently patting my back. If you're unhappy, just say it. If you have feelings, let them out, don't bottle them up. Just stop thinking about those people and things that make you unhappy. You still have me. Qin Fengfeng thought too highly of me. She thought I was heartbroken, that I could genuinely wish Li Meng and Jiang Hao well. She didn't know I was a soul reborn from death, that my heart was so dark there wasn't a single glimmer of light. I certainly hope they end up together, but I also wish they suffer endlessly, in excruciating pain, bound together for eternity. For a moment, I almost couldn't help but tell Qin Fengfeng about my past life, but seeing her bloodshot eyes and the boil on her chin, I held back. What kind of grievance did I suffer this time? It was nothing but a stroke of luck to escape the abyss of suffering, yet she still stood up for me. If she ever found out what happened to me in my past life, how I died, it would break her heart. Fengfeng, stop arguing with people online. Could you let me use your account? Fine, take it, post whatever you want, argue with whoever you want, I'll deal with the fallout. I'm not afraid of anything, I'm not going to argue. I learned long ago that you can't win against the entire internet spectators. People only care about the pretty story they've made up in their heads, self-righteously declaring, I think he's pitiful, so you have to take responsibility for him, instead of saying, I think he's a great hero, and I want to take care of him for the rest of my life, being generous with other people's resources, then basking in the satisfaction of playing the benevolent hero. This time, I wanted to experience that kind of happiness for myself. I was still editing the post on Qin Fengfeng's account when the influencer with over a dozen accounts, whom I had contacted before, reached out to me again. You must have some dirt on them, right? I know you two are great friends, old friends. But even the best of friends shouldn't turn down money, should they? Can I buy it from you? You should know that netizens' curiosity and desire for knowledge are insatiable. All their dark pasts will eventually be dug up. You can't hide it for them. Look at the sugary, flawless, mythical love story trending now. Who besides middle schoolers doesn't find it fake? It's not that I'm cynical, It's my professional sensitivity. I sense there's something big behind this. Can you give me some first-hand information? If you can't get past your conscience, give me a clear direction, and I'll search myself. Here, we can discuss and selectively publish. If netizens dig it up themselves, they won't show you any mercy. Hee. I thought he was genuinely touched by the love of those two and had a change of heart when he urged me to get them to delete their dark past and apologize to their enemies. Turns out he was just trying to trick me, see if he could get me to reveal something. After waiting for hours with no result, he couldn't hold back and revealed his true intentions. I posted the content I just edited using Qin Fangfang's account. It was an album of over 20 screenshots, all showing Jiang Hao and Li Meng badmouthing his ex-girlfriends together. Li Meng really loves to show off by posting those chat screenshots of her and Jiang Hao trash-talking his girlfriends. Well, she's reaping what she sowed now, isn't she? So, this proves Li Meng was never the official girlfriend. The evidence is ironclad that Jiang Hao has been in multiple relationships. The reason for using Qin Fangfang's account is that it had already been drawing hate all day, with tons of people visiting her profile trying to dig up her info. Laying out these pieces of evidence is like a slap in the face for those passionate CP fans who would do anything to protect the beautiful love between Jiang Hao and Li Meng. Whether they choose to turn a blind eye or unfollow and criticize, that's no longer my concern then. I handed over the account ID of Qin Fangfang to the previous blogger. I'll point you in the right direction, but I won't take any money. How much content you can find depends on your own skills. I'm not sure if it's because Qin Fangfang is now taking care of me, so she can't allow herself to be vulnerable, or if she's just really thick-skinned. After handing me her phone, she used mine to order food delivery and even ordered a bouquet of flowers ever since she came to my side. Aside from when her eyes welled up seeing me cry and holding me, she's either been boiling with righteous anger or laughing it off. But the sudden breakout on her face and the blister in her mouth don't lie. She's even more stressed out than I am. Fangfang, you should deactivate this account in a few days. Sure, go ahead, we'll just delete it outright when the time comes. Let those idiots try to pick a fight when they can't even find you. Serve them right. I really didn't want to get caught up in this online frenzy to begin with. After all, the cyberbullying in my past life was terrifying, and no one should have to go through it twice. But seeing the attacks on Qin Fangfang's account, how could I bear to let her endure harm that wasn't hers to bear if her real identity were ever exposed? The torrent of abuse that would follow is just thinking about it makes me feel suffocated. She's someone who aspires to be a travel blogger and an influencer in the future. She can't afford to have such inexplicable black history attached to her name. It's not something she should have to endure. Aren't you all clamoring for information about his ex-girlfriend? Fine, here you go. I took a screenshot of my own WeChat moments using Qin Fangfang's account, then sent it directly to that blogger along with my own Weibo ID. Jiang Hao's ex-girlfriend of 3 years broke up with him due to a quarrel with Li Meng just before the fire. I knew it. No wonder he's a blogger who thrives on traffic. He's truly as excited as a vulture spotting carrion. The beautiful love story of the firefighting hero was pushed to the forefront. To divert public attention, only a small group of clear-headed netizens are calling for rationality, urging everyone to hold off on shipping the couple for now, as the most important thing now is to pursue accountability. But their voices, just like those of the victims hurt by Jiang Hao and Li Meng, are too small and have been drowned out. However, netizens' enthusiasm is finite. Constantly feeding them sweetness will eventually lead to boredom. This is when a big slap in the face is needed to bring the matter to another climax. Once capital gets involved, the buzz doesn't die down. As long as you ride the wave, you'll get traffic. After capitalizing on the hype of divine love, everyone started digging into the details. This process is exactly the same as my previous life. After seeing Li Meng and Jiang Hao's old Weibo and social media posts from their school days, I'm not the least bit surprised by the kind of reception they're getting from netizens. I just never expected that Li Meng never fully locked down her QQ zone or deleted all those photos and videos. Did she forget the password or something? Karma always catches up in the end. Perhaps the classmates she bullied and tormented have been waiting for a day like this. But when I typed her QQ number into the chat box, I hesitated because her profile was full of photos she'd secretly taken of female classmates changing clothes, just brazenly posted there for anyone to see. If this got out, wouldn't it just be inflicting more harm on those innocent girls? In the end, I deleted her QQ number. I just saved some of the photos and videos, along with screenshots of the message board conversations, blurred out the sensitive parts, and sent them to that blogger. The blogger stared at those things for a long while before finally asking me, "You're not really their friend, are you? You're their enemy." that's right, an enemy, a sworn enemy with a deep-seated grudge. I've been waiting for this day for a very long time. After finishing everything, Qin Fangfang and I both powered off our phones. We decided to ignore all the online chatter and just go on a proper, spontaneous trip. We climbed snow-capped mountains, wandered through seas of flowers, and met many free-spirited, artistically minded young people. Qin Fangfang said, honestly, my dream job is to be a travel blogger, just hitting the road in an RV, completely free, going wherever it's beautiful, chasing the seasons, chasing those wonderful local legends. Just thinking about it makes my heart soar. Your wish will come true. So, Qiao, would you be willing to come with me? We could team up and be travel buddies. Sure. If you still want me with you by then, I'll go with you. If you knew what I did, how I brought those two to their doom, and if you're not afraid of me, don't blame me, don't think I'm vicious or terrifying, then no matter where, I can go with you. Qin Fangfang. What are you talking about? If you're willing to be with me, I'd be overjoyed. We've got a deal then. I'll save up for a car. We stayed in Yunnan with Qin Fangfang for a whole week before heading home. Online, the story of that fire and the hero Jiang Hao who rushed into the flames to save people has turned into a dramatic series full of twists and cliffhangers. What was once a beautiful love story of together in life and death has been exposed as a trashy tale of a scumbag and his long-term mistress persecuting an innocent girl. That blogger was right. The power and curiosity of netizens are truly boundless. They dug up more dirt than I, someone who's lived an extra lifetime, ever could. Not only did they expose Jiang Hao and Li Meng, but they also tracked down and exposed those people online who were always quick to testify to Jiang Hao's girlfriend, claiming Jiang Hao and Li Meng are just friends. There's absolutely nothing romantic between them. Everything Li Meng posted was carefully curated and only what she wanted people to see. What those other people posted on their own accounts, however, didn't require Li Meng's approval, especially the stuff from their school days. Anyone who sees it can't help but feel a pang of sympathy for the classmates she bullied. There were even legal aid organizations willing to provide free legal assistance to those classmates, encouraging them to band together and sue Li Meng, Jiang Hao, and that whole gang of schoolyard bullies. Although the outcome will likely just be an apology, it will be hard to get any compensation. However, this is a landmark event that serves as a warning to other kids not to think that bullying classmates as a minor has no consequences. A dark past will follow you for life. Being arrogant now may feel good for a moment, but you'll regret it sooner or later. Ever since that whole mess, Li Meng has sent me countless friend requests, but I never accepted a single one. She used Jiang Hao's phone and her little gang's phones to bombard me with messages, screaming hysterically for me to go back and take care of him, insisting that I was still his girlfriend. Give me a break. The whole internet knows I'm the ex. You're the one who's been his true love for over a decade. Okay, sure. Some people call me a schemer, saying my breakup post implied Jiang Hao was jobless, broke, and living off me. But so what? Yes, I'm playing mind games. I did it on purpose. Every word I said is the truth. Jiang Hao comes from a wealthy family, with a sense of pride, and his daily declaration is to make it on his own without taking a single cent from his family. He's been living off me for 3 years, yet his friends still think I'm with him for his money. Why shouldn't everyone know the real face he hides? I was heading to the hospital to see Jiang Hao, but Qin Fangfang flat out refused to come. She just rolled her eyes and went home. When I arrived at the hospital, Li Meng, who had been lingering in the hallway refusing to enter the ward, saw me and her eyes lit up as if I were her savior. She rushed toward me. Su Qiao, you're finally back. You have to see Jiang Hao. He needs you. Before her hands could grab me and drag me toward the ward, I slapped her hard across the face with a sharp crack. The surrounding onlookers froze, their gazes fixed on the two of us in our past life. She had long since used the excuse of being frightened by the fire and injured herself to hide away. I was the only one left to attend to Jiang Hao. Everyone took it for granted. Everyone thought it was my duty. This time, it's her turn. It's her duty now too, isn't it? Li Meng, are you even human? Jiang Hao risked his life for you, and now what are you doing? Are you despising him? Don't you know he needs you, not me? His revolving door of girlfriends and steadfast Li Meng, is that just a joke? Before he went to find you, I tried to stop him. I threatened to break up with him, but he chose you without hesitation, not fearing death for you. You're not going to the hospital to be with him. Are you trying to run away? Li Meng, a person must have a conscience. A good man like Jiang Hao, who would risk everything for you, is a once-in-a-lifetime find. I admit defeat. I wish you both the best. I'm begging you. Please don't abandon him now. Okay, he needs you, Li Meng. He ended up like this because of you. If you look down on him and leave, wouldn't that be worse than death for him? You can't do this, Li Meng. When a man is at his lowest, the last person he wants to see is an ex-girlfriend. I won't go into the hospital room. Please, take good care of him, Li Meng. You two are childhood sweethearts, a match made in heaven. Your love will surely last forever. I wish you both the best. I mean it. As I turned to leave, Li Meng threw herself at me desperately, grabbing my hair and tearing at my clothes. She seemed even more vicious than in those videos where she bullied her classmates. However, she had only managed to scratch a few bloody marks on my shoulder before someone pulled her away. What are you doing? This is a hospital. Keep this up and we're calling the police. No, it shouldn't be like this. Su Qiao should be with you. You should be the one with him. Go, you're his girlfriend, not me. Only now did I notice that something was different. Li Meng's burn on her left arm was gone. She emerged from the fire unscathed, completely unharmed. The resentment in her eyes outweighed the fear. Ignoring the current online backlash and the fact that Jiang Hao and I had already broken up, she stubbornly insisted that I should be by his side. A sudden thought struck me. Could it be that she had been reborn? Too perfect, just perfect. There is justice in this world after all. I knew we'd meet again in hell. I watched Li Meng being held back, raised my hand, and made a motion of lighting a lighter at her. Others saw it and probably thought I was using sign language to say thank you, but only Li Meng understood what I meant. She looked at me in terror, her mouth slightly open, her face pale, her body beginning to tremble. Yes. That fire brought us all back, and I was reborn too, so why would I let you manipulate me again? It's so good to see you, Li Meng. Reborn? I asked the doctor and found out that this time, Jiang Hao's facial burns actually reached 70%. His left ear was completely melted away, and his left eye lost its eyelid, leaving him nearly blind and requiring dozens of eye drops a day. His back was so extensively burned that it required skin grafts. This looks far worse than the last time. How could this happen? If Li Meng was also reborn and could ensure her own safety, why did she let Jiang Hao get burned so badly? Did she think that no matter what happened to Jiang Hao, I'd be there to pick up the pieces? So she just completely disregarded his life and death. Perfect. Enjoy the surprise you prepared for yourself online. Videos and photos of Jiang Hao, engulfed in flames while carrying a blanket wrapped Li Meng out of the building, are still spreading like wildfire. Some bloggers even created a comic version, both beautiful and tragic, and they couldn't bear to delete it even as the story kept taking unexpected turns. But in my previous life, I never saw any of this. In my previous life, Li Meng took the initiative by telling the public that Jiang Hao was a kind-hearted hero who had a girlfriend. She asked everyone not to promote the photos and videos of him saving her too much, so as not to upset his real girlfriend. In this way, she blurred the heroic act of Jiang Hao sacrificing himself for her, shifted all the focus onto me, and completely distanced herself from any responsibility. Do you really think you can get away this time? I went to the hospital that one time and never went back. Just like in her past life, Li Meng only went once. She didn't slap me. Instead, she begged me through her tears. She said, "I'm sorry, it's all my fault. It was wrong of me to call Jiang Hao and ask him to save me. I'm the one who ruined his life. If he hadn't been disfigured, you wouldn't have left him, right? Su Qiao, I'm begging you. Jiang Hao is already so pitiful, and he truly loves you. Please don't abandon him now. Blame me instead. I'll kill myself. Okay, I'd rather die if it means you'll stay by Jiang Hao's side and make him happy." She kept professing her sincerity, yet she'd rather stage a suicide attempt in front of everyone than ever say she wanted to be with Jiang Hao herself. Her life-saving act led me to pledge myself to her. Afraid of being entangled by Jiang Hao and held responsible, she posted a lengthy online essay condemning me as a heartless woman who abandoned a firefighting hero. Although the fire was ultimately extinguished by professional firefighters, Jiang Hao had rushed in and rescued her before they arrived. While I was enduring a torrent of online abuse, Li Meng took the opportunity to distance herself from Jiang Hao. She still had the knack of making herself sound noble and great. "Ah Hao, I know you truly love Su Qiao. She has already misunderstood us, and I can't appear between you two anymore. I don't want to affect your relationship, but you must know, we are brothers for life. For your happiness, I am willing to step back. She is currently being misunderstood and harshly criticized online. She needs you very much, so please spend some time with her." I didn't expect the netizens to be so outraged, and now only you can comfort her. After that, Li Meng disappeared for 2 years without showing her face in front of me, until she appeared in the new home I shared with Jiang Hao. Li Meng was indeed sued, along with a few of her close friends. Jiang Hao, due to the fire incident, was spared by everyone and removed from the list of defendants. The verdict turned out as the lawyer had predicted, an apology was issued, and there were no substantial penalties, as everyone involved was underage at the time. However, after this incident, the past of these school bullies became known to people in their current social and work circles. Everyone distanced themselves from them. Fearing any association, they were ostracized at work and eventually had to resign voluntarily. If you do evil, you must bear the consequences. After this case was settled, the Jiang family went to the Li family to propose marriage, and the betrothal gift remained 500,000 yuan. Li Meng cried and protested, secretly saying that Jiang Hao looked like a ghost and gave her nightmares. Nightmares are nothing. Reality is far crueler. Li Meng's refusal to marry infuriated the Jiang family. Their only son had been ruined for her, yet she had the audacity to look down on him. Although the Jiang family wasn't a top-tier elite, they had tens of millions in spare cash. How could the Li family, an ordinary working-class household, withstand their attacks? Within 2 months, Li Meng was sent to Jiang Hao by her family. Their wedding came much faster than mine in my previous life. Even before the investigation into the cause of the fire was concluded, the buzz hasn't completely died down yet, and there are still many people paying attention. This time, it's really going to be a nationwide virtual feast. Li Meng, to avoid marrying Jiang Hao, actually found an old friend and willingly gave herself to him, even taking photos and videos herself to send to Jiang Hao. Ah Hao, I've always treated you as a brother, you know that. I don't have romantic feelings for you. I like lazy, and it's always been him. Please cancel the wedding and let us be together. I already belong to him, we can still be good brothers, and I'll take care of you for the rest of my life. I'll do anything for you except marry you, I swear. Jiang Hao, is that so? If I hadn't been reborn, I might have really believed you. Li Meng threw her phone away in fright, covering her head and screaming. Jiang Hao's parents, upon seeing the photos and videos Li Meng sent to their son, were so enraged that they were hospitalized. Yet Jiang Hao still didn't cancel the wedding. After the wedding, taking advantage of the heat from the fire investigation results and the court's ruling on compensation, Jiang Hao had someone leak the video Li Meng sent him. Just as Li Meng was being cyberbullied into a corner, crying with her head in her hands, he took the initiative to post online, I believe what she says. It's all a misunderstanding. I believe the bond between us cannot be burned away by any fire. Meng is a good person. Please, let her go and stop disturbing our lives. Jiang Hao successfully whitewashed his own ugly mug from those school bullying videos and cleansed his trashy image of having dumped who knows how many ex-girlfriends for Li Meng's sake. He was suddenly recast as a lovesick, devoted man, an object of public sympathy and pity, with people feeling indignant on his behalf. The more sympathy he received, the more vitriol was directed at Li Meng. Jiang Hao reached out to me many times, wanting to meet, but I genuinely have no interest in seeing him. Qin Fengfeng's grandmother passed away. I accompanied her back to her hometown for the funeral. The moment it ended, her 3 uncles got into a heated argument over the inheritance, their faces flushed with anger, even going so far as to flip a table and come to blows. In the end, they wanted to kill and butcher the big yellow dog that my grandmother had raised before her passing. The first time I saw Qin Fengfeng cry so bitterly, we took advantage of their inattention, held the trembling big yellow dog, and drove away through the night. After we got home, Qin Fengfeng held the dog and asked me, Xiao, what do you think the meaning of life is? After my grandmother got married, the farthest she ever went was to the town market. She never returned to her parents' home even once. You know, she never even went to a movie theater her whole life. There wasn't one in town. I once wanted to bring my grandmother to live with me and show her the big city, but my uncles refused. They blamed me for being immature. I don't understand. When I was young, my grandmother was so good to me. Why can't I take care of her and fulfill my filial duties? It wasn't until later that I realized they would rather have my grandmother suffer with them than allow her to enjoy a comfortable life with other descendants. It was all about the inheritance. They were afraid that because my grandmother had always been so kind to me, she might be swayed by me and secretly give me something. My uncles always seemed so good on the surface, but their thoughts were so dirty. Why is that? Jojo, let's go traveling. I don't want to stay in one place anymore. I'll have enough saved up for a car soon. Feng. Can I tell you a story? That night, the 2 of us and a dog sat by the bed and talked for hours. The dog and I didn't cry, but Qin Fengfeng cried the whole time. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Jojo, how could you be so foolish, so reckless? Fire hurts so much. Jojo. Qin Fengfeng held me, weeping as if her heart were being torn apart. She was looking at me, But she was crying for the Su Qiao who had died, the one she never knew. Her face was a portrait of heartache and helplessness. If the walls weren't so thick, I'd have worried the neighbors would call the police in the middle of the night. I paid half the cost and bought an RV together with Qin Fangfang. We deactivated our previous accounts, got new numbers, registered new social media accounts, and were determined to become 2 qualified travel bloggers before setting off. I went to see Jiang Hao. He wore a baseball cap, a hoodie, and sunglasses, which wasn't particularly intimidating. Anyway, I'm already used to the scar on his face. Why did you want to see me so much, Su Qiao? I'm sorry, I was wrong in the past. Did you come to apologize to me? I want to tell you, I regret it. I know you tried to stop me back then, threatening to break up because you were afraid I'd get hurt, but now you see, it's all my own doing. Li Meng's rebirth came earlier than mine. When I entered, she was already wetting the blanket. In her previous life, she hurt her hand because the blanket wasn't wet enough. This time, she would rather delay and let the fire grow bigger, causing me more severe injuries, just to wet the blanket completely. She even went to the bathroom to soak herself entirely, caring nothing about my fate. I calmly watched him as he described the scene, his whole body trembling uncontrollably, regret and hatred almost materializing and bursting out of him to tear the roof apart. Yet, my heart remained utterly still. So you've been reborn too, that's wonderful news, but there's something I must make clear. I never intended to save you, breaking up with you so decisively, leaving a clear record of the time and evidence, moving out overnight, traveling out of the province. It was all to save myself, to cut all ties with you, so, please don't flatter yourself. I've always thought it's cruel for the reincarnated to live in a world where only victims are reborn. Why should only the victims endure it twice? How can you truly destroy someone's soul without knowing their past life? The perpetrators know nothing, and when they're avenged, they still think others are malicious and see themselves as innocent. Everyone should be reborn together. That's what fairness is. That's what true retribution is. That way, you'll know just how deserving of punishment you are. Finally, my prayers were answered, and I was blessed. It was only when I clearly knew that Jiang Hao had also been reborn in the emergency room that I truly let go of everything. Relief is more than just a word. I really feel so light now, and my smile no longer feels forced. Qin Fangfang and I embarked on our road trip with our big yellow dog. The beauty of our homeland is vast and boundless. This life, this journey, will surely be worth it. The end. Story 2. After finally saving up 500,000, my husband quietly transferred it away without a word. When I confronted him, my husband only said he gave the money to his mother to open a shop, but my mother-in-law can't even read a single character. In the end, after relentless questioning, my husband finally lost his temper with me out of embarrassment. He said he lent the money to his first love. Looking at my husband, who seemed to think it was only natural, I suddenly felt indifferent. After all, that 500,000 was his life-saving money. My head was buzzing, and my phone slipped out of my hand. A full 50,000 on the bank card. Now it's suddenly zero balance. Furious, I went straight to confront my husband, asking if he had transferred the money. To my surprise, my husband admitted it openly. Yes, I gave it to Mom to open a shop. What did you say? Mom wants to open a shop? That's impossible. I suddenly looked up, staring incredulously at my husband sitting across from me, my voice rising in shock. My husband's eyes flickered, avoiding my gaze, and he impatiently repeated, I lent it to my mom to open a shop. What's the problem? She's my mom. What's wrong with giving her some money? I took a deep breath, trying to suppress the emotions surging inside me, and sneered, my mother-in-law is just a rural woman, barely literate. What kind of shop could she open? Do you think I'm stupid? My husband suddenly fell silent, just lit a cigarette, and started smoking. In the haze of smoke, his face grew increasingly indistinct, and my heart grew colder. I snatched the cigarette from his hand, crushed it fiercely in the ashtray, and could no longer contain my fury. Tell me the truth, where did the money really go? What are you doing? My husband shot up from his seat, pointing a finger in my face and roaring, have you lost your mind? I told you I lent it to Mom for her shop. If you don't believe me, fine, okay, I'll ask Mom. I pushed him away, grabbed my phone, rushed into the bedroom, locked the door, and dialed my mother-in-law's number. The call connected, and my mother-in-law's voice sounded a bit flustered. Hello, Lily, what's the matter? Mom, I need to ask you, did you ask Dawei for a loan to open a store? I got straight to the point, my tone urgent. There was a brief silence on the other end of the line, and my mother-in-law's voice noticeably faltered. Why yes, that's right, I'm planning to open a little convenience store. Don't worry, once I start making money, I'll pay you back. What kind of convenience store? Where? You don't even have a supplier. How are you going to run it? I pressed on, my unease growing stronger with each question. The mother-in-law stammered, unable to explain clearly for a long time, and finally just said, "Oh, just don't worry about these things. I'll pay you back anyway, Mom. This 500,000 is a life-saving money, you." But before I could finish my sentence, the line went dead with a series of beep 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 sounds. My mother-in-law actually hung up on me. I slumped down onto the bed, utterly dejected, my heart aching as if pierced by a knife. 500,000, that's years of our blood, sweat, and tears, scrimping and saving every penny. I was planning to use it as a down payment for a better school district, but just the other day, my husband, our child, and I went to the hospital for our routine checkups. I was shocked to discover that my husband has early-stage liver cancer. My husband is the pillar of our family. If he falls, our family will collapse. I immediately decided to use our savings to get him treated as soon as possible. Even with 500,000, we're still short by 200,000 for the estimated full treatment. Both Wang Dawei and I are salaried workers, our parents are farmers, and life is already very tough. It's even harder to ask our parents for help to keep it from my husband. I even took on food delivery jobs after work to secretly save money, but I never expected that no plan is as unpredictable as fate, and a thief within the home is the hardest to guard against. But I'm afraid to tell my husband the truth. He might not be able to handle the pressure, and his condition could worsen. But now both my husband and mother-in-law are so stubborn, I have no choice but to fabricate lies again. "Husband, you should ask your mom to return the money first. We really need it urgently. It's a matter of life and death." My husband looked at me suspiciously when he heard what I said. "Are you making this up just so you don't have to lend me the money?" My husband is easy to fool, but thankfully, my mom does have a genuine heart condition. For now, I have no choice but to use her as my excuse. After calling my mom to check, still somewhat skeptical, my husband spoke to me with great embarrassment. "Sharia, I really can't ask for that money back. I've already given it to your mom. What kind of person would I be if I tried to take it back now?" Remembering the doctor's advice, I gritted my teeth. "Then I'll have my mom go get it." My husband visibly panicked and quickly stopped me. "No, forget it. I'll tell you the truth." Under my astonished gaze, my husband finally came clean. "Wang Meng's son is sick and needs money for treatment. She just got divorced, and the boy's father won't lift a finger." I couldn't just stand by and let something happen to the child, could I? And I was afraid you'd say no. "So I told you the money was for mom to open a shop, Wang Meng." It finally clicked. That was my husband's college sweetheart. Later, I broke up with my husband because I felt his family's circumstances weren't good enough. But my husband has always harbored a deep-seated resentment towards Wang Meng, so when did he get back in touch with her? It suddenly hit me. Recently, my husband had been making phone calls on the sly, and every time he answered a call, he made a point of avoiding me. Could it be? I dare not think further. A chill running from my feet straight to my heart. My husband noticed my distress and stammered as he tried to comfort me. "How could I just stand by and watch someone die? This is doing good for our family." "Don't be so serious. Money can be earned again, but if someone's gone, that's it." Hearing my husband's shameless words, the man before me felt like a stranger. Even when I told him this money was for my mother's life-saving treatment, he showed not a shred of concern about how she would get by without it. Instead, he started lecturing me about not taking things so seriously. After a decade of hard work, my husband recklessly handed over all our family's savings to his ex. I swallowed the bitterness in my heart and still wanted to fight for it. After all, he's the father of our child. Just as I was about to speak, my husband gave a disgusted look and shook his head helplessly, saying, "No matter how much you make a scene, the money won't come back. Can you stop being unreasonable? How did you become like this? You're acting like a shrew." My husband's words pierced my heart like 1,000 needles. Ever since I learned of his illness, I've had to cut back on all expenses. I haven't even bought any skincare or makeup products, and I even sold the 3 gold jewelry I received when we first got married, delivering takeout every night. With the biting wind lashing my face, I'm no longer that girl I once was. Thinking about how hard I've worked, only to be called a shrew, I couldn't help but want to confront my husband. But my daughter next to me was impatient and urged, "Dad, I don't want mom to take me to school anymore. Mom is not pretty. I want Aunt Wang Meng to take me." With support from outside, my husband coldly said while packing his bag, "Look, because of you, our daughter is being laughed at. How come I see other moms not only taking good care of the family but also being beautiful and charming? You're acting like such a drama queen." He slammed the door so hard, leaving me with a door-shaped shadow. My husband ignored my efforts and even stepped on me these days. My daughter has been subtly criticizing me. I thought it was just her being immature. But now I'm done with everything. Thankfully, my husband's accident insurance had been kept up without a lapse, so I quit my job as a food delivery driver without hesitation after work. Instead of rushing to pick up the kids, buy groceries, and cook like I used to, I went shopping at the mall with my colleagues. It wasn't until evening that I strolled back home. Downstairs, I heard my husband's anxious voice, Meng Meng. Don't worry, I'll get the money together. I won't let anything happen to our son. I have other ways. You don't need to worry about it. I finally understand now why my husband was so insistent on giving all the money to Wang Meng. It turns out they already had a son. No wonder my mother-in-law kept urging me to have a second child to try for a son, while my husband wasn't in a hurry. All these years of effort, and it's all been for someone else's benefit. I clenched my fists and spoke up. Which bitch is borrowing money from you again? My husband looked up and saw me. He froze for 2 seconds, then quickly hung up the phone and ran over to hold me. A colleague asked to borrow money, but I definitely won't lend it, I promise. Why are you back so late today? Chi-Chi was waiting for you and cried. Go upstairs and comfort our daughter. I nodded as if unaware, went upstairs, and saw my mother-in-law's grim face. She pointed at the messy house and said sarcastically, why did you come back so late? I couldn't reach you on the phone. Chi-Chi waited for you at school until it was dark. As a woman, you should take care of everything at home. My daughter was crying and fussing again. Grandma's cooking isn't good. I want mommy to make it. Faced with all the household chores, my husband just sat there without lifting a finger, still expecting me to clean everything up. With a cold expression, I quickly shut the door and pulled out the property deed. I bought this little place before I got married, right when property prices were at their lowest. Remembering what my husband had said downstairs, I immediately contacted a real estate agent to list the house. A moment later, my husband tiptoed in and tentatively asked, honey, are we really completely broke? I need to start a business soon. Could you ask your mom for a loan? Once the business turns a profit, I'll pay her back double. I pretended to be sad and squeezed out a tear. Honey, my mom has cancer. And if she doesn't get treated, she'll die, and you've lent all our money out. My husband seemed troubled, not mentioning any ways to help my mom, but instead lay down, turned off the light, and went to sleep. After pretending to sleep for a while, I opened my eyes and saw my husband turn away from me, taking out his phone to message Wang Meng. Our son still has a chance. Isn't Chi-Chi your child too? We could try a compatibility test. Seeing the message my husband sent left me utterly shocked. What did he mean? My daughter is Wang Meng's. I didn't dare to think about it any further and could only force myself to hold it in for now. The next day, while the house was empty, I seized the opportunity to show the property to the real estate agent and the potential buyers. Thanks to its prime location and excellent layout, the house sold quickly, and $700,000 was deposited into my bank account. The agent gave me 3 days to move out. While packing my things, I saw a photo of my daughter and remembered how many people had said she looked just like her father. That, combined with a message from my husband, made me take a strand of her hair to get a paternity test. 3 days later, the paternity test results came in. I rushed to the hospital to get the test report, but the result, just as my husband had said, the child I had raised with so much hardship, Chi-Chi, was not my own. Where had my child gone? I crouched on the ground, heartbroken, trying to recall the painful moments of childbirth. If what my husband said is true, and Chi-Chi is Wang Meng's child, then he must have cheated on me with his ex while I was pregnant. With trembling hands, I spent a fortune to hire a private investigator. I sent over the date and hospital of my delivery. Right now, all I want is to find my own biological child. The thought that I've been played for so many years, and he's still lying to me even now. I just can't swallow this. I stormed back into the house. My mother-in-law was soothing the child while complaining about me. You spend my son's money every day and still can't take proper care of this household. I'm so unlucky to have ended up with a daughter-in-law like you. Even my daughter, having been influenced by her grandmother these past few days, voiced her own dissatisfaction. Mom, can't you help Dad out a bit? All you need to do every day is make sure the meals are ready. Looking at my daughter I raised with my own hands, I was about to teach her to be polite to her relatives, but then I thought, who am I to do that? Watching my mother-in-law constantly complain, I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. If you don't like her, you can always find another daughter-in-law. Weren't you hoping for a son? Maybe Li Chao does have a son out there. As soon as those words were out, my mother-in-law's face stiffened, and she quickly changed the subject. Shortly after, my husband came home exhausted and grabbed me the moment he saw me. Xiaoya, Where is our house property certificate? Where did you put it? I was so angry that I wanted to confront him head-on and expose everything, but seeing my mother-in-law's expression, she already knew about Chi-Chi's situation. These two people I once considered family have conspired to deceive me for so many years now. Given how shrewd these two are, even if I expose them, they would just pretend not to know. Hearing my husband's questioning, I immediately burst into tears and sobbed to him, "Honey, isn't my mom sick with cancer? Plus, you've been borrowing money from me all along. I heard that stocks could make money, so I mortgaged the house, but I ended up losing everything. I just wanted to make some money to help you with your business." Before I could finish, my husband revealed his sinister true self and viciously struck me. I didn't react in time and fell to the ground, my face burning with pain. I could feel blood trickling from the corner of my mouth. But my husband continued to shout without a change in expression, "What can your stupid brain do? You actually bet the house. I don't care, if we have nowhere to live, we'll go live with your mom." I stared blankly at the unfamiliar man. When my husband lost $200,000 in the early stages of his startup, it was me who supported him every day and took on odd jobs to pay off the debt. Now it's my turn, and my husband is showing his true feelings meticulously. No wonder they say that when disaster strikes, even geese scatter. My mother-in-law was gloating beside me, watching me get beaten, and in her excitement, she let slip, "Enough, does it hurt your hand to hit her? Quickly send this wretched girl to the hospital to see if her bone marrow matches my grandson's." I steadied my dizzy head and stood up, decisively slapping back. "How did I end up with a scumbag like you? This house is my premarital property. Who promised to buy a bigger house back then? Now you can't even be a proper kept man, living in my house, and you dare hit me. Who lent out the money from our home? If we can't get that $500,000 back, I will absolutely not let you off." My mother-in-law, embarrassed and furious, was about to scold me when I slapped her back. I said coldly, "Other people's mothers-in-law either take care of the kids or buy houses and cars. Why are you so useless?" My mother-in-law and my husband stood frozen in place. My husband tried to say something, but was interrupted by the phone. The frantic voice on the phone was surely Wang Meng's. Panicking, my mother-in-law quickly scooped up Chi-Chi, muttering to herself, "Son, we must get to the hospital now. There's no time to lose. If we're even a day late, my grandson might not make it." With that, my husband also hurriedly grabbed his car keys and left. Not long after they left, I hailed a taxi and followed. Today, I finally saw the true colors of that mother and son. My husband must be half convinced, half doubting about the whole property situation. I sent out a message to hire a few burly men, specialists in debt collection. Make sure to evict that mother and son the day before the handover. After arriving at the destination, I saw my husband's car. It's a private hospital, located in a very remote area. Normally, if someone has a serious illness, they should seek treatment at a hospital with advanced medical equipment. I stood at the door, quickly told my mom the truth, and also instructed her to go on a short trip for a few days. My face is still throbbing with pain. I can't just let that mother and son off the hook so easily. The moment I stepped into the hospital, I was met with my mother-in-law's hysterical wailing, "Please, I'm begging you, save my eldest grandson. They're twins, aren't they? How could they possibly not be a match?" My husband helplessly held the woman beside him, overwhelmed with guilt. "I'm sorry, Meng, my bone marrow isn't a match either, and there are no suitable donors in the registry right now, but I promise, I'll do everything I can to save our son." The doctor added, "You're still $800,000 short for the treatment costs, and the hospital bill is already overdue. If you can't pay, you'll have to transfer to another hospital. Transferring carries even greater risks." Su Ming looked troubled and pained as she turned to Li Chao. "Maybe we shouldn't treat the child. I'll take him back to our hometown. I've already been so grateful to have met you, let alone having given birth to twins for you." Hearing this, Li Chao felt even more heartbroken, but his gaze grew even more resolute. At this critical moment, his mother-in-law took out her only savings. "There's $500,000 in this card. It's all my retirement money. The Li family can't die out. This is our only hope for the future. The only hope for the future. No wonder we haven't been able to have a child all these years. Turns out it's my husband's issue. Over the years managing this household, my mother-in-law has always been crying poor to me. Even when my husband's business failed and we couldn't make ends meet, she never helped out. Now he can suddenly come up with $500,000. And seeing Su Ming's triumphant expression, I instantly understood everything. There is no such thing as lost and regained, no broken mirror mended, only connections of interest. When I saw my mother-in-law hand over my husband's last lifeline, I chose to remain silent. Just as I was about to leave, a nurse called out, Ma'am, are you here to visit a patient? My mother-in-law and husband looked over. And I walked towards them, pretending not to know what was going on. Honey, why are you here? I came to check on a colleague. My husband's face turned grim, unsure of how to explain, while my mother-in-law tried to smooth things over. Sharia, we also came to visit a patient. Let's take Chi-Chi out for some fresh air. I nodded. After we came out, Chi-Chi exclaimed, Mom, that old lady across the street carrying so much stuff looks so pitiful. Let's help her, shall we? I looked up and saw an old lady carrying large bags of plastic bottles and scrap, about to fall just as I was about to help and waiting for the traffic light. A pair of hands decisively pushed me forward. I was pushed onto the road, the honking of horns blaring, cars coming straight at me. It stopped just 2 centimeters away from me. I almost got hit by the car, and the regret is unimaginable. If it had been serious, I would have been dead by now. The driver who got out was furious, cursing, damn it, don't you want to live, can't you see? I struggled to stand up, gasping for breath, and looked at my daughter who had pushed me out before I could say anything. My daughter burst into terrified tears. It was Dad who said that as long as you're pushed out, my brother will be saved. I don't want my brother to die. Mom, please save him. The daughter I raised with my own hands, all for a so-called brother she barely knows. They wanted to push me out into traffic. Even though I'm not their biological child, I still held on to a sliver of hope for their affection. But now, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. From now on, I want nothing to do with that daughter of mine. My husband rushed down and saw I was okay. He was stunned for a moment, but quickly snapped out of it. He stepped forward without hesitation, pleading, Sharia, didn't you say that saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda? Now there's someone with leukemia who needs a bone marrow transplant. Why don't you go and get matched? Afraid I might disagree or be suspicious, he quickly added, if the match is successful and you donate, you'll get a fee of several 100,000 yuan. I'm not thinking about my mother-in-law's cancer and trying to earn some money to treat her, am I? I even went through the matching process for your mother's sake, but it didn't work out. If you're not willing, then forget it. What a well-orchestrated scheme. I played dumb and responded with firm annoyance. Didn't we lend out 500,000? You'd better get it back quickly. That's our joint marital property. My husband's expression faltered slightly. And frankly, I was done pretending. Without waiting for my husband's reply, I swiftly snatched the car keys and sneered, I paid for most of this car. I quickly got in the car and sped away from the hospital. On the road, I called my lawyer. What my daughter did and said today was all orchestrated by my husband. That's attempted murder. I've handed everything over to the lawyer, the division of marital assets, the divorce agreement, all of it. I contacted the debt collectors again. Tonight, all of my husband's belongings will be thrown out, and the locks will be changed. My mother-in-law lives in a tiny, remote village far from the county town. The living conditions there are quite poor. My husband would never be content going back to the countryside, so I've also listed my mother's small apartment on a second-hand platform. I plan to sell our current place and buy a new house once everything is settled. After finding out my mom was away on a trip, I got a ceramic urn, put some powdered milk in it, and pretended she had passed away from cancer. When my husband and mother-in-law got my message, they both rushed to the scene immediately, clutching the ceramic urn. I was sobbing uncontrollably. I looked at my husband and complained, if you hadn't lent that money out, my mother would still be alive. It's because of you. You'd rather save a stranger than your own mother-in-law. Is that it? My husband stood there in stunned disbelief. After all, half of that money was mine. My mother-in-law couldn't find the right words in such a scene, so she simply let me have my say. Seeing that I had cried myself out, my husband placed a hand on my shoulder. What about your mom's place? Couldn't we live there? Didn't you lose our house? I shook my head and said helplessly, that apartment was a subsidized housing unit the state provided to my mom after she retired. Now that she's passed, they'll reclaim it. Seeing the look of disappointment on my husband's face, I let out a cold, inward laugh. The mother-in-law spoke impatiently. Death is inevitable, whether it comes early or late. Stop being so melodramatic. Aren't you supposed to go to work tomorrow? Go home now. I looked disheartened. Mom, I got fired. I forgot to mention it last time. Besides the house being mortgaged, I also have over 100,000 in debt. All these years, you've never spent a single cent on us, not even on a house. Now, can you help me out? I'll definitely pay you back. My mother-in-law rolled her eyes at me, then exclaimed in shock, you lost your job, you're in debt, and now my son has to support you. My husband was also taken aback, looking at me in disbelief. A large portion of our household expenses had always come from my salary. Now that I'm jobless and have no income, it's time for my husband, who's always been clueless about the cost of living, to see the reality. Let him see if juggling a job, cooking, and childcare is really as easy as he makes it sound. My mother-in-law. That ungrateful woman heard I lost my job. She knew I could have relied on my mom for help, but with my mom gone now, I'm just a burden to them. My mother-in-law immediately started clamoring for my husband to divorce me. After a mere 2 seconds of hesitation, he agreed. I was afraid he'd change his mind, so I signed the papers right away. When finalizing the divorce, I let my husband have custody of our daughter. I said sarcastically, "Didn't Chi-Chi say she wanted that Wang Meng to pick her up from school? Well, now she'll get her wish." My husband was adamant about not wanting a child and tried to dodge the issue. "It's just more practical for a girl to stay with her mother." I quickly cut him off. "Didn't you say raising a child was easy? What, you don't even want to raise your own flesh and blood?" My husband, flushed with embarrassment, picked up the divorce papers and left. After I took the time to swap out my SIM card, the private investigator sent me a message. "Sis, Wang Meng was pregnant at the same time as you. Your child was stillborn, so Li Chao used Wang Meng's baby as a replacement. There are official records of the stillbirth. The information is reliable." Hearing news about my child, my heart ached with a profound sorrow. For a few blissfully undisturbed days, I threw myself into my work and focused on bettering myself. But then, out of the blue, while I was working late, my husband showed up with my mother-in-law. He confronted me with a menacing glare. "I thought you quit your job. What is this? How dare you lie to me?" My mother-in-law chimed in, her voice full of worry. "Xiaoya, for the sake of our relationship as mother and daughter-in-law, could you please go and get that bone marrow match test Li Chao mentioned last time?" I stood up. If Li Chao wasn't embarrassed, then I had nothing to fear. I shot back, "What's it to you? We've been divorced for ages. Harass me one more time and I'm calling the police." My ex-husband let out a cold laugh and grabbed me frantically. "We still haven't settled the score from the last time you hit me. You tricked me into divorcing you, left me homeless. You owe me, and you must pay." My mother-in-law pushed me from behind, helping my husband. While my colleagues heard my cries for help, Li Chao suddenly pulled out a knife and threatened, "Who dares to stop me?" My colleagues all stepped back in fear, and the security guard was nowhere to be seen. I was shoved into the car, and my mother-in-law tied my hands and feet. I said coldly, "Wang Meng is lying to you. She's just after your money." My mother-in-law wouldn't listen at all and pleaded from the side, "Xiaoya, please, just help us this time." Before long, we arrived at the private hospital from last time. The doctor drew my blood, and my husband sneered beside me, "Aren't you quite capable?" I closed my eyes and didn't respond. On the way, I had already used my watch to call for help. After the test results came out, the doctor said excitedly, "Match confirmed. The patient's condition is critical. We can't wait any longer. Are you certain the donor is a willing participant?" The old woman quietly produced a wad of cash and slipped it to them. I was hoisted onto the cold operating table, my limbs strapped down at each corner. No matter what I said, they wouldn't believe me. As soon as I was wheeled into the operating room and my stomach was smeared with medicine, I felt scared but too weak to move. I fainted weakly, and when I woke up, I was in the city hospital. My colleagues surrounded me. "Luckily, after your husband left, we followed him with a car and managed to save you. We've already reported it to the police." I nodded, feeling no discomfort physically, but I was still deeply shaken. I never expected my usually timid husband to be so easily swayed by Su Ming's words. Shortly after, my mother-in-law came over with Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's face was scrunched up, and she grabbed my hand, saying, "Mom, only you can save my brother now. Please, save him. Are you really going to stand by and watch him die? If you don't save him, I'll disown you as my mother." My mother-in-law, feeling guilty, still put on a tough face. "Xiaoya, you can see that only you can save him now. He's just a 5-year-old child who hasn't even seen the world yet. Can you really bear to give up on this little life?" I lay down with a frown, questioning, "Then why don't you donate? We're not done with today's matter. What you and Li Chao did, my lawyer will be in touch." My mother-in-law completely ignored the part about the lawyer. Seeing me stand firm, she grew angry. "I never thought you'd be the type to watch someone die without lifting a finger. You must donate the marrow, otherwise, you'll have a life on your conscience." As if I had that kind of power to take a life. Thinking back, I've never been particularly robust. Once, I skipped breakfast and ended up fainting right on the side of the road. With my physical condition, even if it's a match, the donation itself carries risks. Chi-Chi also joined in accusing me of not being a Good person. I forced a bitter smile. Seeing my mother-in-law's righteous demeanor, I didn't say anything more. Li Chao was detained, and after his release, I chose the right moment to send him an anonymous message. Your mother can donate bone marrow to your son. Just as I expected, within a couple of days, my mother-in-law got cold feet about donating bone marrow and snuck back to her hometown. Li Chao shamelessly tracked me down. Right as my lawyer served him with a legal notice, Li Chao scowled, his face dark. Why are you sending me a lawyer's letter? Don't you think I'm miserable enough? Seeing Li Chao's sallow complexion and the patchy bald spot forming on the crown of his head, I decided to drop the act. What are you doing that you don't know? Who is Chi-Chi's child? Who cheated during the marriage? And you even lend out my property, and you still dare to hope I'll donate bone marrow to your son? Li Chao, seeing that I knew everything, froze for 2 seconds, and in front of me, tore up the divorce agreement. I don't care about any of that. Right now, you're still my wife, born mine, you'll die mine. All along, you haven't been able to conceive again. That's your own fault. Who made Wang Meng have a son? My son is sick. How could I not take out the money? The head of the household controls the money. That's how it's always been. Hearing such an absurd statement, I let out a cold laugh. Well then, let's see if that holds up in a court of law. I quickly called for security. He's harassing me. Get him out of here. The security guard was really on point, and Li Chao was dragged out. Thinking about how Li Chao was such a troublemaker, I really wanted to see what he would look like when he found out that Wang Meng had been deceiving him from start to finish. Half a month later, Li Chao, coughing and dragging his sickly body, held Chi-Chi's hand, utterly exhausted, and finally gave in. Xiaoya, come back. Whether we rent a place or whatever, I can't live without you. For the sake of the child you raised, let's forget the past. I'll do anything if it makes you happy. Chi-Chi, standing nearby, noticed I was different from before and, recalling the hardships of the past few days, tugged at my sleeve in tears. Mom, please come back. I was wrong. I've suffered so much these past few days. I cast a cold glance at them. For them to change their tune so drastically, something must have happened. After half an hour, Chi-Chi, exhausted from crying, let something slip in her weariness. Dad, did you mishear? How could Mom dare to sell both houses? My husband's expression was unnatural, hoping I could share the money with him. I shook my head. If I had money, why would I come to work? Li Chao was skeptical but softened his tone. Can you drop the lawsuit? I've been working so hard, and you're still my wife, aren't you? I'm so annoyed that I'm spilling all the beans. Li Chao, I don't know when you started hooking up with Wang Meng. Wang Meng has already scammed you out of tens of thousands. Why come to me instead of her? And, didn't I say at the beginning that this 500,000 yuan was a life-saving money? Indeed, it was money to save your life. Li Chao listened to my words with a hint of doubt. I then told him the truth and produced the medical report. Only then did Li Chao believe me, but he couldn't accept that Wang Meng would deceive him. Overwhelmed with rage, Li Chao was seized by a violent coughing fit and even coughed up blood. Fear began to grip him, so he called Wang Meng, hoping to feel her out in the process. When she answered, Li Chao began to speak haltingly. Meng, I have cancer. It's true. I'm not lying to you. About the money I lent you, could you pay back half of it first? Otherwise, I'll die. What do you mean? You think I'm lying to you? I sent you the photos. In an instant, Wang Meng hung up the phone. When Li Chao nervously called back, the phone was already turned off. All WeChat and social media accounts were either deleted or deactivated. Only then did Li Chao fully believe what I said. He knelt on the ground in disbelief, mumbling to himself, how could this be? She said she was so happy with me, that she wanted to grow old together. Seeing Li Chao like this, it's clear the old flame still packs a powerful punch. I sneered. Why do you think she suddenly reached out to you again? And why do you think she kept your son with her? Without giving Li Chao a chance to speak, I turned and walked away immediately. Within a few hours, Li Chao, as if revived, tried to get in touch with me. He would loiter around the office building every day, buttering up the security guards, just to find out my new phone number. He even slept on the ground outside the building, wrapped in a blanket. Every time security chased him out, he'd find a way to sneak back in, all while trying not to be swayed by his own sympathy. Xiaoya really is pitiful. Maybe you should forgive her. I shook my head. It was natural for my colleague to urge reconciliation, not knowing the full story. Only I knew that his whole act was just self-preservation, because I'm his only lifeline now. When my ex-mother-in-law found out that Li Chao had cancer, she also came to my company to beg me, begging while cursing. It's all Wang Meng's fault that our family has come to this. I won't let her off. Wang Meng had already run off with the money, And even the son she claimed had leukemia never actually had it. Now Li Chao has to take care of our son too. Every day, he brings both kids to the company, where they cry and make a scene whenever the security guards try to mediate. He grabs the kids and screams at the top of his lungs, unable to bear it any longer. I went downstairs, and Li Chao grabbed my leg. Xiaoya, I really know I was wrong. Only today did I realize how foolish my mistakes were. I don't expect you to save me. I just hope you can be with me during my final moments. Can we be like we used to be? Facing the, I decisively called. The police, the people outside are all just onlookers, unaware of the situation. They gossip. This woman is so heartless, her husband and child are in such a state, yet she's still so cruel. Could she be having an affair? Chances are she's having an affair. Women these days are really. Li Chao achieved his goal. He wanted to force me to submit. Even if it didn't succeed, he could still ruin my job and reputation in the end. Years of deception, combined with his current demeanor, made me lose control, and I slapped him 3 times. I knocked Li Chao to the ground, panting heavily as I shouted, "You scumbag, how dare you show your face here? I was going to ignore you, but everyone, get your phones out and film this piece of trash." He cheated after we got married. I raised his and his white moonlight's child for 5 years, and in the end, he gave my money to her. And then when she found out he had cancer, she dumped him, and now he wants me to take him back. Are you trying to take advantage of us decent, honest people? I shouted out the whole story. The hardships of these years no one understood, no one cared. In the end, I was labeled a shrew. Some college students nearby, after understanding the situation, took out their phones and joined me in calling out the scumbag. Many people sympathized with me, and some were glad I had enough clarity to walk away. Li Chao fell to the ground, still trying to argue. I'm a patient now. Why should you only believe her side of the story? Someone said, "We're giving you a chance to clear yourself." Only then did Li Chao stand up, and before he could say anything, he found an opportunity to slip away unexpectedly. I was brought back and ended up at the police station. Li Chao was detained for causing a disturbance outside the company, and Wang Meng was caught. After Li Chao saw Wang Meng, he still held a glimmer of hope. "Did you go to raise money for me?" All he got was a cold stare. Wang Meng had been planning for today for years. The money she had swindled, part of it was recovered, some jewelry, and houses were sold for money. When the police handed me the 500,000, Li Chao excitedly exclaimed, "This is mine too. This is our joint property." I let out a cold laugh. After the court session concluded, Li Chao was sentenced and ordered to pay me 400,000 yuan in compensation. Unable to believe it, Li Chao flew into a rage right there in the courtroom, which only made matters worse for him. I collected the 500,000 yuan that was recovered and left the courtroom. With the money, I bought an apartment in a location I'd always loved. When my mom found out I used a ceramic jar to fake her death, I was punished with 3 months of eating the meal she cooked. Half a year later, I received news of Li Chao's death. I heard it was due to cancer, and it was quite a tragic end, but that has nothing to do with me anymore. I restarted my studies abroad to further my education. I registered an account online to encourage every woman who feels tightly bound and assimilated by family pressures to bravely step out into society. I hope everyone can live the life they truly want to live.